Hi everyone, welcome back. Hi, just adjusting the camera. So we're about to do some free motion quilting. I thought I would use the same one that I was doing earlier just because I was doing the outside edges. So again, on your domestic machine, you will need to put your feed dogs down. There'll be a slider or a button or something like that to put your feed dogs down. And g'day Yvonne, hello everyone. The other thing you'll need to adjust your top tension. Your top tension will need to be on around about 5, 6-ish roughly. I know on my Janome I have it about 6. This one I don't have to touch, so I'm going to use this one just because it's easier. It's already set up. I'm going to keep going with it. Excuse me. You'll also need your free motion quilting foot. I'm going to use the foot I had on when I was doing the last lot of free motion quilting. So it'll either be a pogo stick or it'll be a flat, the one that just sits flat to the floor. Either way, they're all okay to use depending on whether you have an open toe, closed, whatever, it's all okay. The other thing you can use is gloves, or you can use a slider mat. I prefer the gloves, just a self-preference. Anyone who's got the gloves loves them, and I'm sure you will too. So pop on my gloves back on. Oops. And I'm going to move the camera. I've set up my machine. This time I'm ready. And we are going to get into some sewing. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, so that it doesn't all bunch in, is I'm going to stitch the outer edge. G'day everyone. Hello. Welcome everyone. If I haven't said hello, love my gloves. Me too. I'm going to move the camera and I'm going to zoom in for you. All right, so you should be able to see that really nice and close. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to put my speed down because I had it up to psycho mode. I don't want psycho mode. I've got the same color top and bottom, and that is something I always suggest to people. So whatever you're doing on the top, do the same color on the bobbin. It just helps avoid any tension issues. I'm just going to put a couple of stitches there just to hide that. Now, because I don't have any edge here, I'm going to have to hold that back bit. Normally I wouldn't with the gloves on, but because of the lack of fabric, just got to go a bit slower. Big stitches, because if you need to undo them later, you want to be able to undo them quite easily. Probably I will end up trimming them off, so I'm overly worried about them. You can do that about 1/2 inch in. With these kits, there's plenty of room. Just want to get my fingers out of the way. So I'm just going to go all the way around the edge. Might have missed the back bit on that one. And I got it there, but I'm going to miss it over this side because it looks like my back is a bit not close enough, said Jimmy. Yeah, well, can't be there for everyone. You know, they say. Not everyone's going to like you, not everyone's going to love you, and it's all okay. Alright, so that's on an angle because my fabric goes on an angle there, but that'll stop it from lifting up or getting caught under itself, which I did have happen to me during a demo in, I think I was in Bendigo, I think. It was quite funny. Got it caught in the back. And then I just proceeded to cut it out, not really caring, and they're like, oh, really? And I'm like, yeah, it's only a sample piece, it doesn't matter. Because they would have unpicked it. Finger dancing is fun, I don't get stitched. Well, you could use tweezers to hold the fabric from the back, or you could use the finger savers. They're only like $3.50. As long as you don't keep losing them, Jimmy, then they're just going to get more and more expensive. So the finger saver is designed to go on your finger and go in front of the needle. If you don't have one and you want one, let me know. I'm just going to trim that off. So now she's all ready to go. The purple thing is another thing. So I've just stitched around the outside edge. You can just barely see it. And she is ready to go. So foot up. Now I do need to figure out what I'm going to do with this. So you could just do a stipple all over, which is perfectly fine. And I'm happy to do that for you and just show you how I would work it out. I would probably start somewhere around the teddy bear and then work my way out to the edge, just where I can see. I'm happy either way. Doesn't bother me. I think I'm about to lose my needle thread. Cut off and pulled up way too tight. Why are you being so naughty? Come through. There we go. So I'm just going to bury my thread by going in there and doing a stitch. There we are. Fingers are more fun. Certainly are. So to keep it so the applique or the painting is more the feature, I am going to do a basic stipple all the way around. So let's get to it. So a stipple is wait, I'm going 100 miles an hour. You come in to half a circle and then back out, and I'm not going to do a really big stipple. It's not majorly small either. And one thing you do have to watch when you're doing a stipple is just to make sure that you don't create like a line. And what I find is that one will look sort of long and the other one will look more like a dog's, the end of a dog's bone. It's a funny looking shape, but that's the best way for me to describe it. And that's how I sort of take a corner or go around. So keep your speed on your machine even as possible. I know it's hard if you've got no regulation. If you've got that stop-start feature on it, on your machine, try and learn how to use it. It does work. This one doesn't have that, so I'm utilizing my foot pedal to work for me. And I'm going to come down in here and do in here. I'm pretty much going to get myself caught up in the corner here, which is fine. And then I'm going to just follow around that thing now. Blind man would love to see it, wouldn't you, Jimmy? Just come in there. Around. And I did go over some of the little flower thingies here. But you can't, you still struggle with stipple. Yeah, stippling is not the easiest, okay? Because the idea with stippling is that you're not supposed to cross over paths. But the best way to get around stippling is to do the loop-de-loop. Loop up and loop back. And therefore, if you do cross over, which you have to cross over, it is meant to be. So stippling is not for the faint-hearted. It is one of those ones that people start with and then realise, oh, it's not that easy. And I normally try and work within someone's means when I'm teaching them, you know, one-on-one or whatever, or in a class, you know, environment, sort of figure out what they're better at. As you can see, what's going to happen here is it's going to push down all that background. This is quilted as you go. It's getting there, slowly but surely. We're getting there. And it's going to push that background back, which is going to make my painting stand forward, which is what I want to have happen. So a couple of stitches before you get moving. And if you notice, my hands stay on the fabric. I don't go lifting them off. I'm not piecing, I am quilting. So if I lift my hands off and do this thing, that's piecing. Okay, so I keep my hands, one on it, one holding. If I need to, I can have it like that also. And it means that I've got my hands nice and flat. They're within the throat space of the machine. And I've got control of what's going on. You sit down and waste a few bobbins and get the hang of it. Yeah, exactly right. I only really hold on to it like I did before is when I get close to the edge, or I forget that I'm not close to the edge, and sometimes I'll still do that. You've got to be careful when you do that you don't lift. You want to keep that down. So while you've got your hands flat to it, that's the best spot to have them. A couple of stitches to always start off. If you notice, before I even move the fabric, just helps me get my bearings and the speed of the machine to the correct speed. I'm going to go further than the actual design. And the reason why I'm going further is because I'll probably end up cutting and trimming it. Just want to make sure I haven't missed a gap or anything. So I can add my sashing to the quilt as you go technique, or I can have it in a bag panel, whatever, but it means I'm quilted right up to the edge and I don't have to try and figure out then how to add quilting to that edge later. We're getting there. Okay. Now what's going to happen up here is it's going to become a little bit sort of looser, so I tend to get my hand in there and hold down flat so that I've got some sort of control. So if I keep pushing up into that from the bottom up, I'm going to make it all sort of creased and puckered, so to speak. So my hands are getting too far over here, so I need to adjust and reposition. Could actually probably have that a fraction tighter. Bobbin's being pulled up, it's too tight. Sorry, take it off. A little bit too tight. Better. So now I've got a bit more of a grip on it. And I'm working across. I'm working across this way rather than into that. I've got myself up here, so rather than cut off and carry on, I'm just going to stitch across to here and come down and do this side. So a nice, simple, easy stitch. I say simple and easy, it's not as easy as most people sort of make it out to be. Just start stippling, but it looks easy to do. and it gets it done really, really quickly. As you can see, it's coming along just fine. If you find yourself lifting your shoulders, remember to drop them, or put a cushion under your bottom so that you don't have to lift your elbows up. What could you do if you didn't want to stipple? Oh, Jenny, you could cross hatch. You could definitely cross hatch. You could do wide cross hatches or small. You could just do just an outer edge around the whole thing there. Do a border. You could do lots of different things. What do you think you'd be capable of doing if you didn't want to stipple? The beauty of crosshatch is that you can draw the lines on with a water-soluble or invisible pen, or pen, you know, something that'll wash out easy, something that fades away. I'm very wary of friction pens. I only use them when I know that the line's going to go for sure. I have had friction pen lines come back, a ghost line on dark fabrics. So like I say, I'm very wary. I haven't done this top corner. I'm not capable of much, that's why I asked. We'll start with cross hatches, love. You can draw your lines and do your cross hatch across. And she's done, you know. You don't have to do all over stipple. Like I said, you could do loops. So you go up and around, back around, up, and just like a meander. You could do that as well. That's quite a good one. If you want to do it free motion, it'll be quite quick. Just seeing the thread I missed out on cutting. Hang on, I've got to get me foot out of the way. Yeah, so anything really. I mean, as long as it doesn't take away from the design you just painted or appliqued, that's the main thing. Hello, Jenny. So I haven't done this bottom bit. I'm going to come around, do that, come back this way, and then come up here. So I've left that corner purposely because I want to come back up that way. I want to finish up that end. So all I'm doing is sort of wiggling around. And I haven't done this area because I can come in this end. So I'll get in there. A couple of wiggles in there, back out. So the hardest thing is keeping your foot still. That's why I suggest to people to use the stop-start button. Put your speed at A speed so that you know you're comfortable with it. myself a little bit of space. Up for a half circle, back for a bit of a dog leg. All those funny shapes you tend to do. Make them tuck into each other a little. Sorry, so what's that say? If you crosshatch, would you stop around the little bear and start again on the other side? Yeah, so you could actually go, you know, you go up to, say, flower. You can pick up your needle, come back over there, do a couple stitches up to here, couple of stitches up over, and just keep going up over the other side. It's a bit hard to see because I've got it zoomed in. So I would stop, back stitch, pick up my foot, come back over here, and then keep going up around. Or you could come up the teddy around and that down. You could do that way as well. So you're sort of going up here, back down, and you can go up there. Absolutely can do it that way as well. Might be easier than the pick up method. So I've set my jack on about 800 stitches a minute, which sounds like a lot, but obviously you can see I've got my foot flat to the floor. So you can see it's not that fast. It seems like it is, but it really isn't that fast. So I missed a bit down here. Come down here. Come up the side. So now I'm going to come up here and just stitch that edge bit in. Just loosen that off a little. So now I've got a little bit more control. I've got my hand here and I'm holding here, but I've got my hand turned sideways, so I've got some control on it. And my hand is still in that down position, so nice and flat. Even though I'm grabbing onto something, I'm using my glove to push, not my hand as such. Okay, and it's going to come up in there. It's going to be quite hard for me to do, so I'm actually going to turn it again because I'm coming close to that edge. I'm going to push a friendship. Yeah. Alright, trim off, and I'll zoom her out. I'm practicing enjoying it. Thank you. It makes sense, by the way. Is there one in every class? And today it's me. No, not at all, darling. Not at all. She is quilted and done. So really, between the painting class, the stitch out, and then the quilting, she's quilted the other side as well. And like I say, you'd cut those extra threads off here. If you're worried about threads, you know, knot offs and things like that, you would bury your thread instead of doing the tie-offs that I did, you know, the cut-off thing with the machine. And you wouldn't have, when you start, you would bring your bobbin up and avoid that knot, that little knot that you get when you first start. But if you're like me and you don't really care, then you do it this way. And just get rid of your excess threads. If you don't have little tiny scissors, you can also use your thread shredder, which will help. So do that. She is almost ready and raring to go. So ready for another block, another day. And then that means I have 8 blocks to go now. That's one block done. There's 9 blocks, and then I can just figure out how I want to put them together. So I can do sashings, quilt as you go, which might end up being quite cute. But those stitches are not coming undone, I can tell you now. She is very cute. Alright, so that is ready to go. We can give her a trim, and I won't do that until I've done all of them, and then I'll trim them all the right size. But she's done. Very, very sweet. Alright, so that is block 9. That is her there. Alright, and then we have, like I said earlier, we've got 8. Oh my gosh, they've gone all the way over there. Got 7, 6, how cute is that? 5, 4, you've gone to cow. I've gone to what? 4, 5, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Thank you, everyone. Again, enjoy today. I'll see you at 2:30 at Geeks Classroom. Hopefully you can join me there, and we will see you soon. Bye.